when they first met, and the question was being answered in 5th grade.
5th grade.
And you guys played basketball against each other. Boy, I bet that was a riot watching you guys play.
It was a riot watching them play. They weren't no good.
Yeah, we weren't no good. They had natural basketball players on their team, and we were just it was recreation. It was more or less like a penny class for us because we were terrible.
Yeah.
I tell you though, when we came out, everybody was like, man, who was that kid with those big ass arms? Like, dude, like seriously, his arms, the size of his arms now. I swear to you, even like in 5th grade, it was like half this size, but still was like,
Yeah, he had guns.
his arms looked like my arms in 5th grade.
I lifted weights. I was going at it hard.
Yeah.
I loved it. Once I started, I just fell in love with lifting.
We knew about weightlifting, but that there was ridiculous. We thought we were like a little bodybuilder or some shit.
I didn't care.
God.
Where did you lift?
In my backyard with little cement weights.
Okay.
And so he just he didn't want to come in all swole.
Yeah.
And I was like this. And he said, you will not do it like this. And the next morning he got up and we went out the backyard. Where I was raised at, we were in an apartment community. In Central Phoenix, Parkley, big apartment, and they had a big park in the middle of it. So I mean, the referee Billy Kennedy, he was raised, grew up there, and a couple other people that people know and whatnot. And so we would all just meet at the park, and whether it's football season, you was gonna play football at that park. Basketball season, you was gonna play basketball at that park. Baseball season, you was gonna play. So that's the way it went. And then sometimes, we remember when they had boxing on TV. Sometimes we get on boxing gloves, and I always got a bloody nose. Always got Gary Hardy. Good. I always get him bloody. I didn't understand. He was a lefty. Always bloody my nose. First round. Damn. But that's how it makes that.
Then you go to another high school and say it's like,
yeah,
behind. It's okay. Traditional, like everybody, like in the hood. You're black and you're young, you're going to play football, basketball.
Yeah.
As soon as you can play, they let you play. They get you out there. So 8, straight to pop.
Every year for me, they say I'm going to be a lineman, and then I run the ball. But I've been playing running back since I was 8. But I would always gain so much weight. And when they would go, you coming in as a lineman? I'm like, I ain't playing no line. But any which way, I always end up running back.
Who was the quarterback then? Nobody?
Back then.
Yeah, when you were a kid.
Man, look, Frank, I'll be honest with you, brother. I didn't have so many hits in my damn playing career. I can't even tell you how the kids are on my damn team. Nonetheless, the quarterback or the coach. I mean, I remember a few of my coaches that obviously had an influence on me. But as far as the players goes, sometimes I think I meet some guys that I used to play with. Hey, Cam, I'll be like, what's up? And I'm thinking to myself like, damn, I wish I could remember. I know you know me, and I know you, but I just can't.
I do that a lot.
I can't I figure it out. So
yeah, when you play a contact sport, that can be an issue.
They can say what they want, man, but it's that dementia is real. Not only with old age, but with hitting people on a consistent basis for years.
Well, then let me ask you this question: how did you both end up at St. Mary's High School?
That was pure coincidence, I believe.
Tell me.
Pure coincidence.
You just went instead
my
of
brother went.
Where was your high school?
Central.
You'd have gone to Central instead? How about you, Kevin?
I was supposed to go to Camelback High School, and I was playing Pop Warner for the Longhorns, and the Longhorn coach was Coach Bugle. It's like some coaches did have influences on me, and I remember Coach Bugle, and I remember Coach Ahern was talking to Coach Bugle about trying to get me to come to St. Mary's, and Coach Bugle told me about it, told my parents about it. My parents, talked to Coach Ahern and Coach Shebang, and like, okay, this would be a good place to come and play football, be on the freshman team that hadn't lost a game in years, and all this good stuff. And St. Mary's seemed like a good school academically, so it's good. And at the end of the day, I didn't even end up playing freshman football, and I got made fun of and dissed and.
Hold on a second. Why didn't you play freshman football?
Because I love playing football. Playing football. Their freshman team only played 8 games. I could play 12 games.
That was enough.
I could play 12 games playing Pop Warner.
I honestly though.
So I was like, man, screw this.
Okay. So you still played. You just didn't play that freshman team.
Yeah, I played Pop Warner.
Oh,
my freshman year because they only played 8 games. And Pop Warner played 12 games.
Right.
So I'm like, while y'all are done at 8, I still got 4 more games to play. So I'm like, screw that. I want to play more games. So I played 12. That was my whole thought process of playing. And being that I did not play for St. Mary's freshman team, I got put through the ringer by.
You know, even today, I think some of the youth programs, as far as your freshman year, really not tough. I remember I can't recall the freshman football season was actually quite kind of boring.
So you're saying Pop Warner?
No, it was better. It was better. I'll tell kids right now because you got a lot of new kids that haven't played in freshman football. I mean, it was easy to score. I felt the only team that was really like, you know, didn't have it that gave us fits for all the years was that. All the other freshman teams, it was boring.
Really, tell me about the bus. So I hear we used to have our Pop Warner practices on what's that, 16th Street, right? And Coronado Park. And they have practice down the street. And then when they got done with practice, they supposed to be driving by while I'm practicing at night with my Pop Warner team. And I'm like, oh shit, here they come. I can hear them fucking from a mile away.
You know Coach Farrell. I mean Coach Aaron.
It's so bitches singing, man, and as soon as they get right past the park, they got loud, and I'm sitting here looking at the dudes like, I know.
I mean, the beauty of it, though, the beauty of it, though, you know, when he does play with us, then everyone see what he got, you know, because he knew the athlete, and when I didn't know what he had. No one knew what he had until he started practicing with his sophomore year.
When we played, a couple of the buses broke down at the same time. So we had to go over to like the Methodist church or the Baptist church or one of these guys and borrow some of their buses. Mm-hmm. We had to come up with a new cheer called the God Squad. We are the God Squad, you know, or something. And here we are going down the street, down McDowell to go to Coronado to practice, and people would be hearing us cheer. So I can only imagine what you must have thought, Kevin, watching this
we were loud.
band of bandits running away from the scene of the crime.
And you said something about making up cheers. Daryl Harris. Daryl Harris, he the one from freshman year on, we kept the same shit that he would make up. And I used to look at him, where he get this?
You guys won state, was it 1 year or 2 years?
2 years.
Back to back. They didn't lose a game.
Yeah.
Tell me how that went. That must have just been one hell of a ride.
I'll let you go first on that one.
Because now what year is this? 1985? 1986?
84, 85.
84.
Is it
85, 86.
87. Yeah.
Okay.
No, 84, 85.
We lost in 86.
Yes. Yeah, exactly right.
So I came up, I played JV, and then they brought me up on the 84 team when my JV season was over. So I didn't get to play a lot as far as like running back goes. I was more of a defensive back. So I played DB. So I played DB. And so come 85, that one was me and Rich was in the backfield, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, your first state, who'd you play?
Tucson Saguaro. Yeah.
And what was it?
Saguaro Sabine.
It was Tucson Saguaro.
Saguaro.
We had that Blacks off, and remember All Pass?
Oh, yeah.
We played Sabino in the
before the Amphi the next year.
No, we played Amphi that year. That wasn't Sabino, it was Amphi. We played Sabino the next year after that. Yeah. And we were at Tucson.
Was it in Tucson that you played state?
Yeah.
Okay, that was my next question is where was the game?
In Tucson. We always was going to Tucson for some reason. But we had Amphi in Tucson. That was scary. That probably was the scariest game. That was the scariest.
Driving in, driving out?
No.
Size. Grown men.
They were grown men. And I was a sophomore. He was a sophomore. Steve, as we drove up, they was waiting on us. They had beards and stuff. And Steve always kept me calm. He's like, Rich, I'm gonna tell you right now. He goes, I'm looking up so this. I looked at him like, oh man. They were big, weren't they? They were huge. When we played Tampa, they were huge. Yeah, that's now changed, and I don't think the coaches wanted it to change. I really believe as everything unfolds, you know, being around St. Mary's and whatnot for a while, you know, I think a lot of it had to do with the, you know, the coach at that time wanted to stay with just quick, hard hitting. They just want everything fast, whatnot. And in reality, today that system they can't win. It wouldn't.
I mean, because we're running the wing T, so in the wing T, you have to have your guards. And
everyone fast.
Everybody
has to pull and get around the corner, and it worked with the offense that we were running. You know?
And they couldn't pull that.
The big guys that would try out, I remember we had one big dude and we wanted to try out, and Coach Farrell was like, no, he didn't really want him to try out, you know. I think he really wanted to keep the team kind of just fast, you know, athletic. I think it's kind of like the Miami thing before the Miami Hurricanes come out. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Fast and athletic and whatnot. I really don't think, though, after our sophomore year, I really believe we were just winning off of pride and stuff. You know, we were coached well and a lot of pride. Because well, we had our whole defensive backfield talent. We didn't have no line. We had some line. Let's put it this way: from everything I've heard from other coaches and everything about our junior year that we won, when we went on the field, they had us. Everyone, even our coaches, had us picked to lose at least 4 games
that season.
Yeah, and we didn't lose at all that season. You know, even with Steve, we lost 1 game, but that season was weird. And then when you look back at it, our defensive backs, Mike Cartwright. Mike Cartwright and our defensive backs kept it. I knew no one was going to break nothing long. A. B. Mike Cartwright was be able to kick a field goal from anywhere. And I don't think we knew how to lose because we just kept winning. I don't know how many games we was down in, though.
That you came back on?
Yeah, but we just did. We came back.
We knew he was going to come back.
When we knew he was going to, and our brains was like it was a no-brainer.
Pissed off, like, why are you behind this?
Yeah, right. It wasn't. They would say they're too big, but then we knew it win because once they started getting tired, I'm like, okay, Rich, we ready because they start dominating them. But when I
think that our conditioning,
I
mean, our off-season training was, I ain't said what you want, we
were
not.
You gotta get pressed.
Off-season coaching
and it was like competition.
Yeah,
like us in off-season doing our running and lifting stuff. We were always competing against each other. I mean, we had Chauncey, you had Ricky, you had Reg, you had me, and at the end of the day, it was like, we did not want to lose, no matter what it was.
That was the thing.
So it didn't matter if it's in the weight room, it didn't matter if we were running at East Lake Park, it didn't matter if we were running at Monterey Park, it didn't matter if we were running a mile, we would get each other, and it brought us to the point to where, not only we were tight, but when we got to games, we knew, like, they're getting tired.
Yeah, that's what.
And we knew we weren't tired.
Yeah, we weren't tired.
It's like, so we knew they getting tired. We got them. So every time we put up the board, like fourth quarter, we knew we on that quarter because we knew that what kind of work we had put in on the off season to where we ain't gonna be tired.
And that was the truth. That's the truth right there.
Reggie, you have a speed training camp that you coach.
Yeah. Extreme Speed started, I infiltrate. I take in all that stuff that we used to from St. Mary's.
Do you have a website?
Yes.
What's the website?
It is extremespeedtraining.com.
Okay.
Extremespeedtraining.com. Any which way, what happened is I became a teacher later on, and I was training. I was coaching Mike Bell on the freshman team at Towson High School, and I tried to send him to Coach Frankie. Mike Bell didn't have, he went over to Coach Frankie, but he had to pay, and Mike didn't have any money. He asked, me to train him and whatnot. And there it went, and so he trained him, went to U of A, and then he played in the pros. But after I trained him, and then Centennial line coach was Joe McDowell from Brophy, and he went to U of A with me. He wanted to go, and so that's kind of where it started. And then I took a lot of. And when you're going through a process like that, you're on the business, you take a lot of what you done did and what you done learned going through the process. And we both trained with Bruce Frankie, who showed us a lot of stuff and everything. And all stuff that, he was training 4x1 Olympic team. So, he was doing things that Others were not, or maybe they were, but really didn't have the backing behind them on why they're doing it.
Sure.
Where Frankie was confident in everything he did, and therefore I was confident in everything I did because we did it for years.
I love to hear that. Can I get faster?
Of course you can.
I mean, is it just like anything? If you work hard enough, you can.
Yes. So yeah, you got to work hard, but you're gonna get faster up to a certain point. So yeah, because most people when they come, they don't know how to maximize their efficiency. They don't know how to get the most out of their abilities and their speed, and that's why you pay a trainer.
So mechanics are running.
Mechanic, like right? Yeah, mechanics. That's what it really is. Because you teach them efficiency, teach them mechanics. Teach them the motor, what really going on. They thinking they're running with all legs, when really they got to move. Their arms are what's going to get them going. And basically just teach them mechanics and get them going. And I think it's just like jumping, cutting, anything of that nature. The more and more you do it, the faster you get. But you got to build up, the important pieces like your core, everything of that nature.
Subject. There was a point in time at St. Mary's when you were being considered for the head football coach and on your coaching staff. What would you have done?
I definitely got
Kevin.
I would got the fiercest guys that I knew that
were
wanted to
available.
win and wanted to win that was available. I thought the problem was at the time, like everyone was trying to compare to the old St. Mary's. When St. Mary's, when I was there teaching, was totally different. It wasn't anything like it used to be. And they're like, we gonna bring the old times.
Mine named Derek Sasuetis said, Frankie calls me up on the phone. He says, Frankie, I got some great news. You won't believe this. Guess who St. Mary's is opening with this next football season? Yeah, by the way, Kevin's also a coach at Brophy right now.
Yeah, Brophy coach now.
I figure I'll tell him who their team they're opening with is because he doesn't know.
So that doesn't even sound right?
No.
Kevin Scott, defense coordinator, Brophy Prep.
Yeah.
I mean, me even saying it, I mean, it is what it is, but it doesn't.
It doesn't bother me at all.
When I say it doesn't sound right, everybody knows I'll be great.
Oh, of course.
So when I say it doesn't sound right, is I shouldn't be saying Brophy Prep. And it comes back to my point, like you saying, is Reggie should have been the head coach of St. Mary's, and maybe things would have been a lot different.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And I'm not saying I don't know all the logistics and reasoning behind it, but at the end of the day, I don't see how you don't give someone who is Arizona High School Hall of Famer, one of the best running backs ever to play in this state, and his jersey hangs from the balcony in that school, in the gymnasium, been part of championship football teams, a leading rusher in the record books, and he can't become a head coach of that school. And you want to tell me that you want to bring back the old tradition? Well, guess what? The old tradition is gone. But there ain't no one better to start the new tradition and understood what the old tradition was than him. So after that point, when that happened, I kind of like St. Mary's. I always remember, I had great memories.
That job for some type of reason. But it wasn't just me. Like I said, I heard it was me and it was Sam Sauce that we were up for the job, and they was good put in the paper, but we really never had a chance.
Sam also, or Sam with you?
Sam, no, he applied for the head job too, and we were both the finalists. Before him, they had a coach from North.
From where? North High.
Yeah,
so
his name was Manny or something.
North High. You brought a North High coach into St. Mary's.
Yes.
You had 2 St. Mary's alums applying for the job. How does that work?
Well, the other one that I don't seem to see a lot around either.
And there was North High a powerhouse back then?
Yeah, they still had the warped gymnasium floor.
Right?
Yeah. Well, the one guy, I can't think of his name. He was a winner. And the bottom line is that he did some stuff that you can't do in high school. That's a whole different podcast. So right before I get a call from the principal, I get to the school, and he had this other coach. But any which way, the principal calls me like, Reg, I gotta fire the head coach today. He said to me, like, he just did some stuff that he's not going to be able to be around kids again, high school kids or any kids in this state again. And I was like, and he's like, So I said, I don't know, but I know Coach Farrell is confident the one that he goes to for hiring. So I know I'm not going to be in the running. He's like, well, I just wanted you to know that I have to find him. So.
Is there animosity between you and Coach Farrell?
No.
Or did he just feel that he had a better pick than someone else?
No.
Is that what I didn't understand? Maybe what you were saying.
Yeah, but from what I'm saying, from what I heard, is that Coach Farrell said no to me, and he didn't want us to be it. And I forget, someone told me. I think it was the old principal said it. Me or Sam Sauce, both of us, and me and Sam talked. And he's like, "Well, if you get it, I'm gonna coach more, and if I get it, but me and Sam were fine." But then they would bring in, these other guys, and then they brought in Coach Zuby. Coach Zuby, the one who came over, took the job. And, I think what happens a lot in high school coaching, you got some guys that can really talk the talk. And but when it comes to coaching, you know what I mean? Eddie Zuby's doing a great job out there at Higley. But when he first got here, he could talk. They can get in their meetings and they could talk, but he wasn't. I'm sure he's a lot more polished now. But I've seen a lot of coaches, because I've been, teaching and coaching for a lot of years.
Mm-hmm. Get a guy 5'3" and he's really wanting to come back and take somebody's head off on punts.
Morris Delgado.
What's that?
I said Morris Delgado, 5'3", bench press 400.
In your class?
He was one class over, but he started guard and could play. He can run. He was doing
5'3" as a guard at St. Mary's.
It wasn't 5'3". He was short. High school coaches, winning coaches, and you see the winning programs. They come from how they were taught and coached in their high schools. Like I do a lot of training for Sunrise Mountain, and every one of them coaches over there, they do really good. They won state in their division last year. Sunrise Mountain, all of them come from Coach Freckenheim. Cactus. And all of them are hard. Coach Carter, Coach Decker, Coach him out in Willow K. All of them coaching the same style. And they win except for the Willow K. I don't know what's going on. Paradigm not right. But they win because it just reminds you of the coach the way we was coached, which was really hard, everything really fast. They don't have a lot of depth. But the ones that are going, everyone's going full speed. Our junior year, our defensive backs were for real. I'm talking about all, like Robert McCatcho, all of them. No, they were for real. The defensive backs were for real.
Yeah.
You wasn't going to get past them unscathed. They was going to knock you.
That we don't get as far as what they get, say, in college and in pros is time with the kids. We only have the coaches in high school only have limited time to be able to practice with the kids and teach the kids. Not like 100% college where it's all about, obviously, academics, but it's all about football. Being a part of a football team. Right? I mean, you eat it, you sleep it, you have hours of film work, you have hours of practice, you have hours in the weight room, you have hours in the training room, you have all of that. Well, in high school, you have limited time. I mean, we might get and try to teach a defense or an offense and then teach the specific mechanics they need to be able to do as far as being able to, cut left, cut right, back pedal, man turn, man-to-man bump and press and all that stuff. They don't have a lot of time to be able to teach all this.
But that's where all the specialty trainers come in today, because we know that they don't. Like for me, I want to get them in shape. I want them to be the best alignment and everything else, because you can get them in shape, get them prepared, get them ready, and they can work with a different position than where the high school coach they can. Speed. Typically, when a baseball player, softball player come in and showing speed, they got a batting coach, so they have batting on this day. The next day they might have pitching or field, whichever position they do. They'll come see me twice a week and whatnot. So it all goes certain special, and so they all had a special. They're playing club, and I think it's the same thing with the volleyball. I know with football, you got your quarterbacks doing their thing. For football guys, they got the linemen. They'll come to me for the speed, the big linemen, then they go to. But all the linemen go to, I can't think of name. But any which way, they had a specialty coach for every position, every sport.
Kevin, did you guys have spring ball this year?
Yeah, we just finished our last 7-on-7 tournament last night.
Where was that at Brophy?
It was at Pinnacle High School.
At Pinnacle.
Yeah, so we've been having 7-on-7 games for the last month, every Saturday. Yesterday was Friday, which is our last game.
That's right. We're sitting in the middle of June.
Last 3 weeks, we've been playing 7-on-7 tournaments with our guys.
So you're off until after the 4th?
Yeah, we'll start back up again. I think either July 7th or July 12th, something like that. So we give them a couple weeks off, and then it's off to the real stuff.
Yeah, first game is end of August.
Yeah, they moved it back, thank God, to the end of August. And we'll play.
Was it supposed to be earlier?
Well,
like the 22nd?
Out here, they played earlier.
Sometimes, yeah, but sometimes they open up real early.
Yeah. So finally,
when we were playing this bed, it was back.
Yeah.
So they finally came back to that, which is better, I think. So yeah, first game St. Mary's High School.
The Chuck Dodgers Heat.
Should be fun. So I called a trader yesterday.
I know. Mike Halverson.
By one of my old teammates. What
happened? So one of the old teammates, Mike Halverson, his son goes to Pinnacle. Kevin was out there coaching because he called me up after. He's like, I seen that trader of yours.
Trader of yours. It's so funny. His kid goes to a different school, but he ain't a trader.
Yeah.
But I coach at a different school, I'm a trader. Yeah, right. It's so funny because who else is over there with me? Michael Diaz's kids. I coach him at St. Mary's. And we all know Michael Diaz was a great linebacker over at St. Mary's High School.
Absolutely.
Right? So
wow.
I kind of laugh sometimes because I see guys who played at St. Mary's and either their kids don't go there.
Right.
Well, yeah, but still as an athlete, it's like when I say change with the times, you go look at St. Mary's gym, their weightlifting gym, and you go look at some of these other schools' gym. Look at Brophy's, look at just Brophy and Pinnacle. Go compare the two. So if I'm an athlete and I'm coming in, I'm like, okay, they get the checks for gym. Okay, what kind of other facilities do you have? You go, okay, let's go to the practice field. St. Mary's practice field is still at Monterey Park.
Yeah.
Like we have our own turf fields.
I know.
All the schools have either their turf fields or 3 or 4 multiple fields. So that old thing of old tradition and how this how it used to be, and we flip tires and nah, man, we're not flipping tires and doing all that shit. Man, give me some weights with some air conditioning. Give me a little track in there with some, man. We're not running on dirt. And we're not running on rocks.
Speed track.
Yeah, man. Give us what we want. And in these days and time, the money is so big in professional sports that parents are going to send their kids to the best situation, the best facilities, the best coaching that they can find. And it's usually, like I said, coaching can be great, but without the facilities to help these kids, man, it doesn't matter.
Well, let me give you a lot of people don't realize the inside of the St. Mary's and how the downfall and everything else. They couldn't get the athletes that, we used to at St. Mary's and everything. When I was at St. Mary's, I was coached for a freshman class that was just full of athletes, but they couldn't finish up the school year because they couldn't pay tuition. So the bottom line is the Catholic diocese, they went broke, and therefore everyone had to pay that full scholarship. So, hey, look at it. Kevin, they had no money. Man, we had all them dudes that went to Marco. They were all cold-blooded. All of them with guys who went to UCLA and whatnot when they got up. It was all the same as freshmen. I used to sit there and call dives, and we would just blow out the fresh teeth out. Now, no, we wouldn't. It was ridiculous.
You just running at them.
Brothers. We had. They was.
So let's talk about the black athletes.
They was.
That's what we're really talking about.
But listen,
so we talk about who can afford to go and who can't.
And it was true.
But that's not. Everything's not based upon whether it's a black athlete or
not.
It was
black.
Because I go to Brophy, right? And I don't have a bunch of black athletes, right? I had athletes, but it's not so much. Well, I had all these great players, and then the diocese couldn't play. Well, I think it probably had a big part in it, but at the same time, I mean, that's just 1 year.
It was a whole bunch. It was that whole thing. Let me go and not finish. So what happened is this: when it came time to take a test, midterm or whatnot, the athletes couldn't take a test, and they would call their name on the loudspeaker, and this is what's wrong, and have them go to the front office, and they say you can't take the test until you pay this bill. Now, no one knew about that. My son was included in that. My sisters were all these guys who were promised scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's why they left.
Huh?
Because they didn't get their money.
They left because they couldn't afford it. They wasn't going to be able to take the test. And so all
that
of
wasn't
them
the agreement. Yeah.
That wasn't
we were supposed to have some help going to school here.
That
I would come here.
That's what
right? Isn't that the agreement?
That's what we said. So
and then they start showing up with a pink slip saying, hey, you gotta leave, pay.
Right. Now luckily I didn't have money. I just went to divorce. So at the time I went to one alumni that they told me to go see. Oh, I can't think of his name right now. Any which way, he handled RJ's situation, but other people didn't want to do that. So I was gonna say, well, RJ gonna go to Centennial.
Yeah.
I mean, because then he would, if that whole, it was a weird situation that I was dealing with at that time with divorce and everything, because he would have went to either Hampton or Centennial and forget St. Mary's in that whole equation. Anyway. You know what I'm saying? He went to Brophy for a semester, but then the basketball coach at Brophy got mad because it's just a whole Brophy. RJ played freshman football.
They didn't call you no traitor. I not a traitor.
They saw those guns.
I'm not a traitor.
They said, shit, I seen Reggie's arms. I'm not gonna let him know.
Hey, but truthfully, St. Mary's, they did try to recruit a lot of people, and they did bring in some Bs. I mean, stud athletes. But as soon as they would get in, they had to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you got your boys, your girls, you're gonna do what's best for them.
Absolutely.
I didn't feel at the time St. Mary's was best for RJ, but we kind of got put in a time crunch when RJ wanted to leave Brophy. And so, and I could say, I was going through personal stuff, and that's why he just ended up St. Mary's.
How many children do you have?
2.
What are their names?
RJ and Alexis.
And how old are they? 29
and 26, right?
That's great. You seem like a proud father.
29?
I did 22.
Yeah.
It go by fast. Yeah, me 29.
Jeez.
Yeah, I got 3 grandchildren, too.
Do you really? Congratulations.
Yeah, gotta have one more in July. Yeah.
Great hair.
Oh, boy. Yeah, man. JoJo, Jules, Egypt, and Ryder. Ryder's the new one that's coming.
Ryder's a good name. Yeah. That's a good name.
I like Egypt.
Yeah,
Egypt's even cool as hell. When you're named after somewhere, you know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe not like Bangladesh, but you know what I mean?
Right.
Like Egypt or Paris.
Or
Rome. Oh my God. And that could be guy or girl.
That's the guy or girl.
Yeah. Like, could you imagine?
Remember that R&B singer Rome?
Yeah. Can you imagine being a father and your daughter comes home and says, oh my God, I met the most amazing man. His name's Rome. Right. And then your son comes home and says, oh my God, I met this most amazing girl. Right. Her name's Rome. You're like, I don't know what I like better.
Right.
Like, this is so cool. I like names that can do that, though.
I love it.
That can go either way. Now, Kevin, 2 daughters.
2 daughters and a son. So my son is 23, my daughter is 22, my youngest is 17, about 18. God. And she's off to college.
Yeah. She graduated this year?
Yeah. Alexia's going to Westcliff University to play volleyball in Irvine, California. And if anybody wants to help the GoFundMe, that shit, please let me know.
How do we do that? How do we do that?
GoFundMe.
Yeah, how do we do that?
Seriously, like, oh my God.
GoFundMe Alexia volleyball. We're gonna put a page up there.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the memo notes. I will. I'll put that along with the speed camera. His name had the yellow.
Yeah.
Lance Armstrong.
Yeah.
And it was that kind of fitness event.
Cheat. He's a sorry ass cheat.
That was the worst. That was bad.
Armstrong, man. He just.
Well, yeah.
Period. Like, he was not only the taker and the consumer.
Right? Then he didn't
then he was also the dealer.
Yeah.
That's the problem. He was the biggest dope dealer on the whole damn tour circuit. Period.
I think that's why people get mad at that. If you did it and whatnot, and you say, okay, yeah, I got busted and whatnot, but he would not.
Till the end, and then he said, okay.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah, because they had all that, information on it and everything. They busted him, and everyone else wanted to keep hiding it under the cup.
Well, he's bringing so much money in for the sport.
Right.
And if you're going to bring It's in any sport, though, they do it.
That's true.
It's all the cover up.
Right.
Until it can't be covered anymore.
The Parisi thing and everything else of that nature, just being in this industry for a long time, big gyms got to have more than just training. Just whether it's speed training or whatnot, I don't care where you at, but they can work. I know that how they can work, but I'm not going to share. I'm telling you, Phoenix, Arizona, you better come with it because I just got through sweating because that's the way the gym that I'm at.
It's outdoor?
It's outdoor. Yeah, it's got a roof over it. It's got long 80-yard runways, 2 of them. It's hot right now.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to talk to you about that.
Yeah, you come.
Let it be known that at the end of the day, we both bleed green.
We both.
And we've always wanted the best for St. Mary's. I know we had a lot of conversation about it, but at the end of the day, you know, I didn't. If someone just came and said, "Hey, Coach Scott, Brophy Prep wants you to St. Mary's High School would like for you to come over here and coach," guess what? I went there to coach. I ain't getting no calls. I didn't get nobody knocking on my door. And then when the guy who was trying to knock on the door, they didn't let him in, which is Reg, that kind of cemented for me, even if y'all did call, which you didn't, I probably wouldn't have went there anyway.
I don't know if I would have opened up.
Right? I wouldn't have opened up because at the end of the day, like I said, once he did not get the job, that told me that things over there were changed, they're different,
right.
And that's not nothing that I would want to be a part of. And so at the end of the day, I mean, it's not like I have anything but respect and love for the school because in the day, that's where I went to high school and some of the best years of my life. Right. But at the end of the day, I am at Brophy Prep and I love it there. Right. And let me see, I can tell you, you know, there's a lot of similarities under being the type of kids you get, being the type of upbringing, the religious beliefs and things like that. But then again, there's a lot of differences in the kids because of it being Brophy and where it's at and the history behind that, and it being St. Mary's and the history behind that. So being over there, I've been able to see like, all right, I remember when I was at St. Mary's and it was like those guys up the street broke, they're a bunch of rich ass kids, with parents, shit, right? Yeah. And then I'm over here and I'm like, yeah, I can see where you might think about it because yes, it's more expensive, but then they got better facilities, that and the other. But at the end of the day, they're just parents and kids, just like the kids and parents at St. Mary's. They want the best, and yeah, maybe they did or more successful at the things they did, but that doesn't change the fact that at the end of the day, they just want their kids to get the best education.
It's still 50 yards
and the best trainings that they can get. Period.
And it's still a 10-game schedule.
It's done nothing else.
That's right.
That's right.
I think what I take away from the whole thing with the St. Mary's, and you're right, but for me, it was hard to be there because it wasn't St. Mary's. It wasn't anything what we went through. They wanted to get there, but to me, it was invitation.
Because what Frankie said it right though.
Yeah.
Once the old is gone, and like I said, once you tore down that school,
that's what
right? That school was there for how many years? Right?
Yeah.
That school was downtown Phoenix.
Okay? That was part of downtown.
Everybody knew St. Mary's downtown Phoenix was almost like 1-1. So once that went, there goes that type of tradition.
Right. But you can even, and that's true. And you can even go to Coach Farrell and whatnot, even though they won another state championship at the new school. For me, in my head, and even Coach Farrell, it's just totally a whole different vibe. Whole different vibe, a whole different type of kid.
Well, that's another thing. I wonder if he got left behind too in that old school. I liked Coach Farrell a lot. Yes. I mean, and I still do to this day. I have tremendous respect for him.
When we talked, when Coach Farrell,
what did he say about it?
He was tired. Coach Farrell just needed to retire. Remember he had an opportunity. They hired him head coach at Dobson, and what he said for that whole week he couldn't sleep, and then that's when he withdrew. He got the head job at Dobson. It was in the paper. He's gonna go coach at Dobson.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, Johnny Rodriguez was taking St. Mary's. And the Coach Farrell said he just had bad dreams. He's like, Reg, for the life of me, he's like, I just see that us having to play against St. Mary's. He's like, I can't do that. And he said to me that was really hard, but he's like, he couldn't. He's like, there's no way he'd do it. So then he's like, look, I can't take this job. Went to St. Mary's, and he just started teaching, let Johnny run the program. But when I was teaching at the St. Mary's school, he was still a head coach, but he wasn't, he wasn't Coach Farrell as we know Coach Farrell.
Yeah.
But then he went to go. He coached at ACU for a little bit. He coached at Arizona Christian.
Was he an assistant up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
he helped out
running backs, right?
Oh, yeah. Running backs.
Yeah, he helped running backs.
So, yeah.
PJ said he didn't really say, but the bottom line is that Coach Farrell was good. St. Mary's was a different school, whatnot. Everything I think as far as the downfall of St. Mary's, there was a lot into it, and one of it, whoever the captain dies, whoever, that's what everyone is at. The money situation.
It's not,
because at St. Mary's was the type of.
I'll never believe that.
I know, but I was there.
But listen, there's a difference between what people say and what the facts are.
Yeah, but
so what they can say is they can say a lot of things.
That's true.
But at the end of the day, like Frankie said, if they want to get the money, they got the money. Whether or not they say it or not,
but Frank,
they ain't lacking in money.
We want to get no one called out of their class. Not just one person. We're talking about at least 50.
Like you said,
most of the team,
they didn't want to hire the money. It's just like now you try to tell me that St. Mary's cannot get their own facilities to be better than what they got. You tell me that we gotta still be at Monterey Park for the last 100 years.
Yeah,
right. You can't get a better weight room. You're like, come on. Like at the end of the day, it's what you want, and that's why I say when I go to Brophy and I'm at Brophy, I'm like, Brophy didn't all of a sudden just say, hey, you know what? We're going to build this field. That field came from somewhere.
No,
we're going to put all these nice facilities.
Yeah, but bro, you got a guy, he's donating $8 million. And this lady
they got it. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. They got, but at the same time, they're still under the same diocese.
Lewis Scholar.
Lewis Scholar, sure.
Lewis Scholar.
Yeah, that's the one who I said,
yeah. You went and talked to Lou.
Yeah,
Lou's the best.
Good guy.
Yeah, Lou. So this is how much people, the alumni care about St. Mary's. So he's talking to me and whatnot, and I'm going over there. And Lou telling the whole story about how we could have fields. Coach Farrell didn't want to tell him about the Knights Foundation. So they're not alone just the Catholic Diocese, but we also had the Knights Foundation, right? The Knights Foundation also helped fund the kids that can. So guess what happened to the Knights Foundation? By who?
I don't know. What happened?
Okay.
What happened? Tell me what happened.
No, we'll skip that.
They got shut down?
Yeah.
They closed down the moneymaker.
The guy didn't want to run no more, so they had to close down. Lou's so upset about that whole thing. Right there, we in a meeting one-on-one. He started crying.
Lou did.
Yeah.
Boy, talk about a guy with heart.
Oh, yeah, so he was right in.
Well, it's kind of like now, though. If you look at like college schools, I look at college programs, and you have a lot of college programs that are cutting back on athletics, right? They're cutting back on sports.
Yeah, what happened to our JC football, for example?
I was coaching at Glendale Community College when they stripped,
Yeah, you saw that happen.
Colleges of the sport. So, it's one of those things where, okay, we want to have a football team, but we're going to concentrate more on the academic side. And that's fine if that's what it is. They don't use something else as a cover to why you can't be better or have better facilities or be able to pay for certain athletes to come here. Right. And if you want to say that's the reason, I can't believe that. Now it's because you want to focus. I mean, they did the same thing in junior college. They said that basically that the stadiums were too old. They need to be renovated. There was too much money.
Right.
And basically what they were saying is they don't want to spend the money in the football, and it's going to spread to more athletics, and they want to concentrate more on the academics. They say, oh, it was the insurance, and don't get me wrong, I think some of these things all do factor in because football becomes a very, very expensive sport. So you start to talk about the insurance policies that these schools have to carry to cover athletes just in case they get. So I'm sure, but at the end of the day, it's a shift, it's a paradigm shift in schools saying, okay, we're not going to be about or mainly about athletics. We're going to be what you have these college presidents say that we are academia. You come to college to get an education.
Boy, there was a no-cut policy apparently over at Sunny Slope.
I was gonna say that was like that.
Yeah.
Like now, I see teams now that might feel some schools don't even have freshmen football.
Yeah.
Now, Kevin and I were talking about this. He said one time we played against a freshman team, or there was a freshman team that only had enough to suit up another defense.
Right.
So they had like 11 players while the other offense was on the field. And I said, 11? You only had 11. Who's punting, kicking, and taking kickoffs?
Well, the St. Mary's have a freshman team.
No, they didn't have JV. They don't have a JV.
They don't have a JV team.
Yeah, St. Mary's.
So when we play them, our freshmen will play and our varsity play, but
the JV won't.
JV won't.
Oh, hold on. It was one. Maybe they just have a JV team and no freshmen.
It's one of them. I think it's freshmen.
I know they don't have 3 left.
So we got to schedule another. We got to schedule one of our teams. I can't remember some freshman JV with another school because.
So did y'all have still 2 freshman teams?
No, we have a freshman, a JV, and a varsity, but St. Mary's is missing one of them.
So they'll have their
we'll schedule another
team still
team.
compete, so they complete their schedule.
Yeah,
I know.
And that's not the only school though. There's plenty of schools that don't have freshmen
Others
teams.
than St. Mary's.
Yeah,
I remember when my son was a freshman at Brophy, they had an A and B team.
There was enough players to have 2 freshmen teams.
We got 100 players out for freshman football. 120 maybe.
Yeah.
Right now?
Right now.
Yeah, because half 100. I'll say probably about 40 of them never even.
Yeah.
So that was the B team. Like they were like green and orange. And they would be the ones play the Mesa 9th graders and whatnot. And then I know Centennial has the same thing. They have there's just so many kids that they're just trying to get them some reps and they're trying to stay with the no cut policy.
Because there's a no cut policy because everybody forgets that you got to pay to play these days.
Right.
So why would I cut you?
And they paying a lot of money.
You guys always forget about it.
No, I completely forgot.
Some of these prices with these kids and these summer $600 to go on the summer camp. You got
for
a lot of these schools,
for the camp,
the weekend, $800. Oh, we got to get you the whole shirt, shorts. And you gotta have these type of shoes. They put together pack. That's gonna be $300 along with. It's just the amount of money. And I know parents because they'll tell me how much. And I know parents can't afford all that.
No, of course.
So, but they have the money drive, and then you can go ahead. So there's all kind of different things, but there's a lot of line to the money, and it's a lot to play football these days.
It's like we all know that football in major college university pays for all sports, all the coaches, for everything, right? So when they say, hey, you know what, kids who play football, these sports, they're on scholarship, they get their education paid for, they get, they get their food, all these perks that they get, and that's enough, okay? Well, I could put a monetary figure on what that is, right? And I promise you, after we put that monetary figure on what it costs for each kid that you're giving a scholarship to, paying for this, that, and the other, and you take that number, and then you take the number that over a 4-year period, how much money the school has made off of those, say, 100 athletes. I promise you that figure that the school made is way
disproportionately uneven.
Uneven. And then when you take, you know what I mean? So it's not like you're sitting there saying, hey, these guys don't deserve it because they're getting their education. What happens when you got all these fans are buying, the Notre Dame quarterback's jersey and the school's putting it in their pocket?
Right.
Last time I checked, the only the person wearing that jersey and playing is that kid.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
but you know what? You pay for his education, so that's enough. So anything else after that, that's ours. Come on, kids, they don't have to go to college. They can go straight to these leagues. They can get a college education, but they're getting paid to play.
Oh, I don't know about that.
That's the new football.
Is that what they're doing? Because we were just watching that when we started this.
Yeah, they make a same amount.
They get a little bit of a salary though.
Not a little bit. I think it's like $70,000. They get $75,000 a player.
All of them get
and they get to get their education.
Right.
Is it around certain cities? Like New York?
I don't know teams. Yeah, they have different teams.
Yeah,
they have like
10
or 12 teams, but they'll expand.
Yeah,
it's going to expand because at the end of the day, you're going to have a lot of kids who are like, okay, I might not ever make it to the pros, right? Well, shit, I can go make $75,000.
Right, exactly.
Right? So
I'll play for $75,000.
I was a company that deals with speed training or strength training or whatever.
Especially when you go to U of A, you ain't got no more opportunities after you leave U of A. Just poking. I'm sorry, Stanford Cardinals.
I gotta get out.
All right, listen, man. I just have to say that because don't get me wrong. I like U of A. But at the end of the day, we'll tell you who's the number one ranked school
College
for
World
the
Series
first 4 years.
4 o'clock.
Y'all number one ranked in. I'm talking about academic
College
school.
World Series.
I'm talking about your brain right now. See.
I got a job.
Yeah, you do. They welcome you today.
Bear down. Bear down.
Go Cardinal. Number one school in
Oh,
athletics.
man.
Number one school in academics. Who runs the President's Cup every year?
I'm not trying to.
You know what the President's Cup is, right?
I don't even know, man.
Exactly.
Tell me, no.
Hey, no, exactly. He don't even know because it
Wow.
goes to U of A. They don't even understand.
I was
what
on
it
the
is.
honor roll. I was on the honor roll at U of A.
Man, you
First time I ever made it.
principals.
First time I made an honor roll was at U of A.
Did you get on the honor roll at U of A? I used to coach. Frank,
I
used to drop my paper, and everybody knows I used to drop my test paper down on the floor. So Reggie and my girlfriend Kathy Tiffany, sorry.
I know you put you on the head.
So y'all can sit there and stare and write the shit down. And this dude gets on the honor roll at U of A. So anyways, like I said, the President's Cup. Do you know what the President's Cup goes to?
Is that when those guys sail? Is that the President's
That's what I was thinking. We don't know. I don't know what the
Those sailors?
It might be called the President's Cup.
They got two of them.
Yeah, they got two of them. So they got two of them. The one I'm talking about is the one out of the school who wins the most national championships. Period. Dot. Yeah. And you get points. Sometimes you might not win a championship, but you come in second place. So as far as athletic programs goes, we have tennis, we have baseball, we have soccer, we have rowing. We have the most points to where we are number one school in academic or athletics for years. On top of, we're always ranked in the top 5 in the nation in schools. Academic.
I guess NAU didn't enter that.
Nah,
I didn't.
What's up, dog?
I ain't gonna lie. I'm happy. U of A, boy, they school was real nice.
I know it was for you. They
Yeah.
got paid all
I
that
did
money.
get honor roll.
Just like now, ASU over there paying guys,
Congratulations.
paying athletes. You hear about all that shit at ASU?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I thought, what a progressive school. They're ahead of their time.
Aggressive my ass.
And 10 years from now, we're going to be complimenting them for their system.
Hey, but let me tell you this though.
Listen, man,
I'm gonna tell you this,
we all know there ain't, for all the top schools playing college football, they all doing the same shit. Period. They're paying players. We all know this.
I want y'all to talk about the resort style living that they have for these student athletes today. U of A got these brand new. They stay in
Like
resorts.
their football dorms? Is that what they are?
The
Athletes
athletic dorms. They're resorts. They're resorts now. Big old kitchens. They got their own rooms. They got pools. They're like huge.
Are you surprised? Do you
No,
know how
I'm
much-
not.
I'm just talking.
That comes to my whole point.
I see UNLV.
Why are you not paying the athletes? You're not paying the athletes. You're basically making the facilities better to attract more athletes because you got all this damn money.
Hey, no, they're great. You got to see them. They're great. I see UNLVs, right? Crazy.
Really?
And then now, U of A, theirs open up your boy, the defensive end was Tristan Monday. He's committed to U of A. He showed me they'll be open this fall. He's gonna be the first to live in and high rise. The rooms, crazy.
But Reggie, you a high rise in a damn desert, man.
Hey,
go to a high rise in Palo Alto, California. It's beautiful over green trees, seeing the bay. Y'all over there looking over cactus and shit. Hey, y'all see Mexico over there?
Yeah, we'll
be
done,
right?
Hey, but what he's full of shit.
I ain't full of shit. You looking over at Sonoma Desert, man.
Hey, all I gotta say is, man, I'm looking at things that kind of piss me off. Like, this what y'all.
Hey, man. Let's see. That's the difference between Reggie and me. All I can be is happy that they're finally getting they do shit. Because at the end of the day, they wouldn't have had that without you, without me, without all of us former players being able to be at those schools,
come
let
through.
them progress.
That, you know what, that's a great point.
I mean, that's what it is. And that's why we look when I say, you know, you get a lot of guys like, oh, are you mad because in the NFL now these guys make all this, that money?
No.
I said, no, I ain't mad. At the end of the day, it's all relative, right? Yeah, the number's astronomical, but it's relative. And at the end of the day, the reason they're able to make all this money is guys like me, the guys that played before me, the guys that played before me, set the foundation for that to happen. And just like in 20 years, if the sport is still around, those guys are going to make 20, 15 times more money than these guys. But it's all just the building of what we do as a human race, period. You know,
I agree.
We are here, and what we do sets it for our next generations to hopefully be better than ours. So when they got that great housing over there and all that shit, beautiful, beautiful, and I'm glad they got it.
Oh, I'm
glad they ain't got to live in the shit that we used to live in. They don't have to, like, I used to go to, real quick, I used to go to frat. We didn't have no money. Like, seriously, I'm in college. We ain't paying back in the days.
No, we ain't paying at all. The gas was like 75 cents a gallon.
Ain't paying shit. We're not paying y'all nothing. So, whatever money you're supposed to get, that's all you get. And you better make it last. Man, we used to go to the frat. I used to go to the house on Saturday night. Like, look, man. When y'all done with all these cans and bottles of shit, y'all put it in a plastic bag and I'll come pick it up.
Yeah.
The next day, the next Sunday, man, me and my college roommate, we go in there, we pick up that shit, go straight to the recycling plant, get our $40, $50, go straight to Taco Bell 10 to 10.
Oh, that's the best.
And then we got the rest of $30 for the rest of the week, happy as shit. So when you look back, you say, hey, they ain't gotta do that.
Well, I gotta say is when my daughter, when she went to U of A, and she stayed in the exact same, the dorm room never changed. And it was the same dorm room. This wasn't till 2 weeks ago when he was showing me this, I was like, you gotta be kidding. And like he said, I am happy that because it's amazing. It's a beautiful thing. And then, you know, the talent at U of A is 5, 6, 20 times better than talent at Stanford.
Oh, he talking about ass. Yeah. Obviously.
You gotta go on Speedway.
Next to TD's?
Yeah, just down.
Okay.
It used to be the biggest dump in the town.
Yeah.
And then TD's just burnt down.
Which one? TD's West?
I mean, TD's West. No, TD's West.
Yeah, TD's West seemed like it was on its way out.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like this song. It's a funny little town.
We'll be at TD's West over there by the river, not on Speedway. Running back up the coast last week. Well, we get these drinks coming back like back.
Oh, too tight. Well, listen, Reggie, I want to tell you thanks for coming. And Kevin, I want to tell you thanks for setting this up. I've wanted to talk to Reggie one-on-one like this for a long time. Every time we got together, it was always at the cave. We were watching sports, and there was girls around, and we weren't able to talk. And so I'm glad that we got this down. Maybe we can do this again.
Oh, definitely.
I've got some more questions on some other things that I'd like to bring up another time. But you were talking about a GoFundMe page. Is that serious?
No.
Okay.
I was just talking about the cost of college being astronomical.
Yeah,
that's
because I'd be happy to promote that.
Guess what? That's the biggest issue that I'm dealing with. And guess what? I'm okay.
Yes.
There's people in this world that got way bigger issues than me trying to figure out. And it's not about figuring out, it's just what it is. You gotta pay for it. It being $50,000, $60,000 a year for a kid for college is expensive. So, you know, it is what it is. We'll make it happen. But yeah, I can.
And Reggie, the website again?
ExtremeSpeedTraining.com.
ExtremeSpeedTraining.com. I recommend you take a look at that. I want to thank iTunes, I want to thank Spotify, and I want to thank YouTube for helping me present this on this platform to interview these great guys, great friends, and pillars in the community as far as I'm concerned. I want to thank you for tuning in to I Ski with Frankie Z. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and hit the like, comment if you have anything to say. And if not, I'll see you the next time we tune in with I Ski with Frankie Z. Thank you guys, I appreciate it.
Go Broncos. Hey, you go.
That's right, Trophy Broncos.
Everybody pay attention. This right here is my pretty boy swag. Pretty boy swag. Pretty boy swag. Pretty boy swag. Girls on my dick.
At the end of your life, I guarantee you won't be thinking about the times you played it safe.
Look at them yo-yos, that's the way you do it. Play the guitar on the MTV.